Right, JJ, how are you and the family doing, mate?
Yeah, we're good, mate. Settled in sunny Hull and that. Taking it day by day, mate. Just enjoying ourselves.
Right, so before we get stuck into your story, mate, where was home for you and who was with you?
Whitehaven. Born and bred Cumbrian from Whitehaven. Grew up on Bransty, on the hill in Whitehaven. Lived with my mum, dad, and two brothers, and my dog. And then I had another two siblings that were moved out and a bit older. But yeah, I've come from like quite a big family.
Right, so that's where the competitive edge comes from then, mate, yeah?
Yeah, a little bit fighting with the brothers in the house enough every day.
Rugby.
Yeah, do you know? No, mate, I was probably the peacemaker. I was quite chill, to be honest. No one really bothered. I just used to do it.
So how was you introduced to rugby, mate? How did that come about?
I think being from Whitehaven and Rugby League, that's what Whitehaven and West Cumbria is. Do you know what I mean? It's just bred here, and you know everyone in your family plays it. Your dad's played it in the past. Your uncles, your brothers. Do you know what I mean? There's always connections with Rugby League, and you know for me it was always my older brother always used to play up at Kells, and you know we used to go and watch and stuff, and you know that's sort of what got me into it and that. And then you know as soon as I was old enough, I was straight up on Kells pit, you know, with ball in hand.
Yeah. So what was your junior school like? Is rugby just totally ingrained in Cumbria? Schools, clubs, everywhere?
Yeah, junior school not so much. I think junior school's more sort of leave it to the community clubs to sort of do it, like. But you know, at junior level, you do get like Whitehaven community coaches coming in and stuff. That was sessions used to come in from them, but yeah, it was more coming from like community clubs and stuff at junior school.
Yeah. And who else was up there, Jay? So who were like your rivals up there then?
So there was us, Kells, and then at our age group, we had a really strong team at our age group at Kells. But the biggest rival was Wafbrow.
Okay.
So there was Hensingin, Wafbrow, Egremont, Lauca, and then you went out to work it in. You had Seaton, Glasson, Maryport, Ellenborough. So it was quite a decent competitive league. But you know, Wafbrow against us, because when I was at Kells, we always used to. There was only under 12s, under 14s, under 16s. So one year you were bottom age, one year you were top age.
Yeah.
But when we were top age, no one could compete with us in Cumbria. Do you know what I mean? We was that good, even down Barrow and stuff.
Right.
It was just that good.
What happened with like was there a town team system for you?
Yeah, there was area they used to call it, and yeah, but I got on that a couple of years, and we used to go about a bit. I think we maybe went down to Wigan and Leigh, I think, if I can remember rightly. But there's always one thing that stuck out. There was service area, which was basically like town team, and then you went on to like a regional camp, where it was like split off into Cumbria, Yorkshire, and Lancashire. And I can always remember this, and like I'll always remember it to the day, because I didn't get picked for it. Okay. And I can remember like all the lads, like different clubs, my club, Kells and stuff. They all got these blue, like I think it was Puma at the time, blue hoodies, like regional hoodies, and they always used to feel in them and that. And I was like, I wasn't like upset about it or out like that, but I was a bit more embarrassed that I didn't get picked. Do you know what I mean? And I think that was like a little bit of a turning point for me, to be honest. Sort of like kick on, you know, and be. But yeah, that's always something that sticks with me. That because I used to go to school and all the boys would be in the hoodies and that, and you know, I was like just cruising about in my Kells hoodie.
So before we go back a little bit, so you've used that, mate, to good effect rather than sulking about it, and you've
definitely
used it as a memory to kick you on and remember them little daft times, because they are now. But It's mad how it still sticks with you, really. So how was your transition into high school, mate? What sort of kid was you?
Yeah, it was good. I don't think I was a naughty kid. I was normal. Probably a little bit more intelligent than I done myself justice for. You know, but no, high school was good. It was never really got into trouble or anything like that. Yeah, it was steady away, to be honest. Probably didn't hit the heights I wanted to in terms of GCSEs and that, but I come out all right. But yeah, it was all right, mate, to be honest.
Was rugby always the focus, Jord, or did you have ambitions to do another career?
Yeah, I don't think rugby was ever the sole thing, to be honest, because I never ever thought I was good enough.
Okay. Is that just coming back from that regional stuff as well?
A little bit from that, and then obviously moving on to like under 14s and stuff. And then there was like a few of the boys moved on to, a couple went to Wigan, one went to Warrington, and sort of like I just got missed, didn't get selected or whatever happened. And, you know, at Cumbria at the time, there wasn't any other pathway into rugby rather than a big club come up and take you. So, you know, I wasn't really thinking about being a rugby player. And then the RFL set a regional academy up in Cumbria, the North East and the Midlands.
Okay.
And it was sort of like acting like a pathway to be professional. So basically, they started it and they set an academy up. So like, this is like moving on a bit, like after I left school, I got asked to go on to this thing and you were basically signed on as a professional.
Yeah.
And that's how like sort of everything else come after that. You know, I really bought into what they were doing and, you know, just worked my ass off and, you know, put myself in the shop window, you know, because we would go down and play against Super League clubs and stuff in the academy and stuff like that. That's how I ended up coming up against Widnes actually, first time.
Right. So it was very worthwhile doing it. So how did you find the standard from high school, mate? Did you have a high school team?
We had a high school team, yeah.
So how was your standard at school compared to at Kells?
Good, like, because obviously we had the majority of our Kells team, because there's only 2 schools in Whitehaven.
Yeah.
There's St Benedict's Catholic School, which is where I went, and then there's Whitehaven School. I think it's Whitehaven Academy now.
Yeah.
So everyone who played for the teams rather went to St Benedict's or went to Whitehaven, but everyone from Cleaton where Wath-Brow was, majority of them went to St Benedict's with us.
Oh, right, okay.
Our team was strong, like we had a good team. You know, we never quite cracked the national comp, you know, but we were always a very good competitive team. Just used to fall short that last little bit at the end, but
right.
You know, it was all right. But there wasn't like a league because there wasn't that many schools. Do you know what I mean? So it was, you were playing every so often.
Yeah. Like every game virtually would have been an away game for you as well. If you was, it's a bit of a graft for a kid, isn't it?
Yeah, then like sometimes we want to like play at Maryport against Neverall and that, and they were just sometimes we were just pointless. Do you know what I mean? Like because it was just a walkover. But it was more Kells that was competitive and stuff. That was a lot better.
Yeah. And did Union ever come across your path, mate, or was it always Rugby League?
Yeah. I played Rugby Union for a couple of seasons. Not at Whitehaven because Whitehaven didn't run a youth team at the.
Because they're senior side, aren't they?
Yeah. So we went up to Egremont.
Okay.
My little brother used to play. My little brother was really good actually, and I just used to go up for something to do when we weren't playing Rugby League. And I can't hold my hands up and say I knew all the rules, but you know, it was a rugby ball in your hands, and you know it was a compete. You know, so you know I used to enjoy it. I did not like it. We used to play it at school that as well. You know what I mean? I did enjoy it, but you know it was always Rugby League for me.
Right. And did either call open your eyes to the other calls, to the way you seen the game, or was you pretty good with your brain anyway?
No, I was all right, mate. And to be honest, I think I was so young. At that age, you just want the ball in your hands, don't you? So, like, I never got involved in any of the ruck stuff, and I didn't fancy getting started. Just waiting for a ball to come calling. But no, I didn't carry on playing past probably I was 13, 14. So I didn't really get into the really technical part of the game. You know what I mean? It was just more fun at that time.
And have you always grew up in a pivot position? So what, 7, 9, 13?
Yeah, I always grew up playing halfback. The first ever game I played as a hooker was my debut for Widnes at Catalans.
Oh, right, okay.
I was always halfback. Through in the deep. I can remember playing Sam Mower and Dave Taylor and thinking, what the fuck am I doing here?
So when you're in that academy, like you said, it's a bit of a shop window. How's it work with school or a college or something like that, mate? What happens with that?
So basically, it was basically what the Super League clubs were running, where it was full time, mate. Like it was hard graft. Like we were in there early, and we used to get home 4 or 5 o'clock. So we'd get in early. We'd maybe do gym and train, and then we'd done the sports science course because it was based at Lakes College. So everything that were there, so we didn't have to move. So we ran the same course as what all the Super League clubs were doing.
Oh, so get all the good rehab in that year, yeah.
Yeah, physios and everything. They had everything, mate.
Brilliant. So how long was it before Whitehaven come and took you on then? And was there anyone else after you at that point?
So I'd actually, you probably didn't know that, but I came to Widnes when I was 17.
Okay.
Came to Widnes for 1 month.
Yeah.
Played against them and ended up getting a phone call of Phil Finney saying, like, do you want to come down on loan? It was sort of a loan because we contracted to them, but like they wouldn't stand away because that was the whole part of it.
Yeah.
And it was me and T. Ritson, who plays at Barrow now.
Oh, yeah.
We were in the same programme, and we ended up going to Widnes on loan for the month with like an option to. They were giving us an opportunity to prove ourselves, and so they're there. But that come about, and then at the time they weren't housing anyone.
Okay.
Really have any families that they were taking houses in, where they weren't really as developed as like your Wiggins and stuff who had families there that were things. So I ended up going there for a month, and I went back to the academy, and then that's when I went to Whitehaven.
Okay.
I think it was. It might have been the same season or the season after, and they were struggling for numbers, but we always used to do a pause sessions against them, like of a Thursday night. You know, like when they were preparing for games, and you know, me being me, I just used to just go for it and
an opportunity, mate, innit? Yeah.
Just to try and do my thing and that, and you know, they invited me down. It was James Cole, the head coach at the time. And he said, "You good to play this week?" And we were playing Halifax. And looking back now, mate, I was nowhere near ready to step up to that level. I hadn't been in the system, and I played at Halifax away, and we got battered. And yeah, I wasn't great, but you know, it was a massive learning curve for me.
Did it not dropping out with you though? No.
No, it didn't knock my confidence because I sort of knew what it was at the time. I just went away, and then I didn't play the week after. It was a derby at Summer Bash, and he said, "Oh, I can't play." You like, you had my stats up and stuff, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not stupid." Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. But then he played me the week after against League, top of the league. Mate.
Yeah, just two of the big boys in 3 weeks.
I played with no pressure, and I think I ended up scoring and grabbing an assist or something and doing really well.
You knocked a few goals over as well, didn't you?
Think so, mate, yeah.
Don't be modest, mate.
I know. But yeah, I can remember that. And then after that, that's when I ended up getting the phone call from Phil and Hodge about going back to Widnes, and you know, we got settled.
So how was you in a new changing room, mate? Did you find it easy to integrate? I know rugby's quite good for that, but it still takes a bit of balls to go in and introduce yourself and that, done it? Like Widnes and Whitehaven, because you've pushed yourself there, haven't you?
Yeah, at Whitehaven it wasn't too bad because it's a small town. A lot of the lads are local, and I'd been down training a bit before, so that was quite a seamless transition. To be honest, they'd all been in your position before, type of thing. Obviously, being local and stuff. Yeah, and Widnes was sort of done in stages. So, like, when I went to Widnes, I didn't go directly in with the first team. I went in with the academy first. But I already knew Brad Walker, so when you know someone, it makes it a lot easier. And then obviously Brad's little sidekick Ollie, and then threesome, do you know what I mean? And then
the rest is history.
Went from there. Nah, I'm quite an easy person to. I'm never really in an awkward situation. You know, I can talk to anyone. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, the transition wasn't too difficult for myself, to be honest.
Yeah. I've seen everyone seeing around Vicky Park, mate. You don't talk to everyone. So, what happens with the academy then to integrate? Is it straight away you're into sort of? Well, are you in a pre-season, or have you come a little bit into the year?
Come halfway through the season.
Right. How was that?
It was all right, because I just wanted to get down there. Like, this opportunity is coming up, and you know, it's dragging on a little bit, and I just don't know if it's ever going to come. And then I got a phone call off Hodge. I can remember I was out with my mates. We were at like a house party or something at the time, and this number was ringing me, and I was like, "Oh, who the hell's this?" And he was like, "Oh, you better answer it." And I answered it, and it was a bit Aussie voice on and that. He was like, "You come down for Monday?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, of course I can." And
well, cans in.
Yeah, I just never looked back, mate. Like, it was the best thing that ever happened to me, to be honest.
Yeah. So talk about your first game in the academy, how the academy works, and what happens with integration. How did he drip feed you in? Did he or
no? Straight academies. It was at the time. It was full on, full time. You did get you in the morning, 6 o'clock before the first team would start to do your weights, and then you'd be back. You'd go home and then come back after they'd finished.
Right.
Younger lads who were still in college would do college in the day and then come back at the time. So it was bum full on. And then if you were one of the better players, you'd then get asked to go and train with the first team, and you'd filter in with the first team. And, you know, it was hard work. It's not as easy as people think. Do you know what I mean? Like, young lad and stuff. It really is hard work, and it takes you out here. But you know, you've got to sort of put that to the side sometimes and look at the long term rather than the short term.
Yeah. Well, it's like people have said on previous episodes, mate. No one sees you Monday to Friday, did he?
No, that's what
just see your game day and judge it on a game day when you've put all the graft in, and you'll be putting graft in the next day recovering.
Some people just don't see that, and you know, they pay the money to go to the game, so they've got every right to criticise you and stuff. But you know, people don't know you as a person and what sort of person you are at training and how you actually work. So it's just one of them things. It's just part and parcel of being a rugby player, isn't it, mate? You got to cop it sometimes.
Yeah, mate. I got no abuse of the weights only when I was walking, mate. That's all I got. So, how did you find out about your debut, and what was the build up like to that, mate?
Bit mental, to be honest. It was Catalan away. I think it might have been Easter Monday. Was it Easter Monday? Yeah, wait, I'll put this light on because
no worries.
Yeah, I think it was Easter Monday game, and I think he only told me the day before that I was playing. I can't remember who was injured. I can't remember if it was Lloyd or Aaron Jeremiah. And I think it was out of me, Danny Walker, and I don't think he quite thought Danny Walker was ready at the time. He was a couple of years younger than me, so he'd have only been 16, 17. And he just said, you're good, sweet to play this week, Catalan. And I was like, oh yeah. Yeah, let's have it. And he was like, oh, 9. I was like, oh. Yeah, it's just a bit of a blur now, trying to think back like into detail about it. All I can remember is, Dave Taylor having me running at me off a scrum and carrying me on his back for a bit, but
it weren't just you, he does it too, mate, don't worry about it.
But yeah, I can just remember I can remember being in the changing room and Sam Brooks was next to me because he was debuting too. He'd come from Whitehaven that season as well. It was just a bit surreal, to be honest, because I've never been to Catalan before either. And the academy were playing, actually, so all the lads were there watching me. It was just mad. It was class. It was, one of the best experiences I've had, to be honest.
And it's a strange, like, people won't understand the whole day is a strange day for you, so you're probably meeting early, you're flying.
It's like
you're expecting to play in heat.
Playing the game's the easy part of any. Game day is the worst day of the week. Like, just the nerves, the anxiety, like going into the game, like thinking, have you prepared right? Have you done everything right? Just overthinking everything. Like, when you're on the field, you're fine, but leading up to it is awful. And luckily it went all right. And I got a couple more games at the back end of the season.
Right. So are you in a nervous player, Jord, or
before? A little bit when I was younger, mate. I used to sometimes look around changing rooms and see some of the players and that and think, oh, what am I doing here? Do you know what I mean? But as I've got a bit older and I've played quite a few games now, it's just sort of eased off. I do still get nervous. It's healthy to be nervous, but at the start it was different.
Yeah,
different. Looking back at it now, because you've got nothing to worry about really. Especially when you got on the field, it's just what you're doing it.
Yeah. So them couple of hookers there, mate, great hookers to learn off, aren't they? Because Lloyd only got better with us, I thought, didn't he? And as has been on it, hasn't he? Yeah,
I've had an opportunity to play with some good hookers and some great people to learn off. Lloyd White was class. Lloyd, his skill was unbelievable. I think he come from a union background, so his service was the best I've seen, and probably the best I've seen to date as well.
Yeah.
And just the way he ran with the ball, just effortless. He was effortless, and he was deceivingly quick as well.
Yeah.
And then Azza was the flip side. Azza was sharp, tricky, smart. There were two very good hookers to have in front of me at the time to sort of learn my craft off.
Well, as you play in more, mate, what things stand out for you at Widnes? So you've played in derbies, you've played in Magic weekends, you've been in close games and won in close games and lost them. We hit rock bottom with liquidation and that. You've been from the very highs to the very lows, all in a short space at Widnes, and you're a young lad, aren't you? How was all that for you?
Oh, I think that season we got relegated, which was obviously a tough thing to happen to us. I can remember being in Toronto. We got beat off Toronto, and it was we'd had to win the next game by 60 or something. It just wasn't happening. So we knew we'd been relegated, and that feeling was awful. You never knew if you were going to have a job, and then you get through that. And you stay and you're in the championship, and then all the crack happens with liquidation and stuff. But looking back at all that now, the way that the club got through it, and the way that the community all stuck together, just everyone and all the players, and the season we had on the back of it, and that's probably the moment that'll stick with me forever, I reckon.
Yeah.
Just 24 hours where the club could have gone under, and people are still in the office working all night, selling anything they can get their hands on, just to keep the club alive. And everyone bought in. Didn't matter who they were. Everyone bought in from the streets of Widnes. You know what I mean? And that's something that'll stick with me forever. That it was brilliant.
Well, you just kept leggies afloat, didn't you?
We were in leggies every day.
Yeah.
Or if we were going to have any money.
I did it. So you're trying to keep the spirit up in leggies. You're training on Simmy's Rugby League pitch, aren't you? Which is weren't sure to do.
They told us we weren't allowed to train, and we all trained off our own backs here at our own risk.
It's stuff that the everyday fan don't see, Jordan, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a sacrifice you made, and thankfully now it's reaping for you.
I know we didn't go on to do anything as such in the season after it went under. We had a few decent performances along the way, but the lads all stuck together and stuff, and it's one of the best group of lads, probably the best group of lads I've ever been involved in, and I've got some friendships from life from that. Even the boys that moved back home and stuff, I still talk. It was a special group of players.
That's it, mate. And the Wembley appearance as well, eh?
It didn't last very long, but yeah.
But mate, you were there, innit? Box ticked, innit?
Yeah, I was there, box ticked. Failed for a couple of minutes, but I'd love to go back and right a few wrongs.
Yeah, great chance ways of playing though. But so what a derby like for you? What was a week of a derby like?
Widnes derby.
Yeah.
Good. Mad.
A really small town, so you probably couldn't move either, could you, for someone or people saying. But
them games were class, mate. The stadium was always like, it was the one time of this season the stadium will be full. Do you know what I mean? It's not very often you pack it out, but yeah, the build up and that, because it's genuine hatred in it. Like they hate each other, and that I was lucky enough to play in a couple, to be honest. But yeah, they were good games to be involved in. Tough physical, but yeah, good games to be involved in.
Yeah. So you had a loan spell at London.
Yeah.
How when you're getting told that, mate? How is it to be told you're going on loan? Do you because you've been very positive throughout your career, so do you see it as a chance, or is it a bit of a...
Yeah, a little bit like that, but a bit mental really, like, because the off season before, so like the pre-season, I'd played. I think I'd started all the pre-season games. I think Lloyd and Hazard had both been out injured, and he pulled me. Dennis had pulled me and said, "Oh, you've been brilliant, like one of the best players and stuff." But these two are back this week. It was like, so
mad, isn't it?
It happens everywhere. Like I was only, and it's rugby league. It happens at every team. Do you know, like when the team players come back or the leaders come back, they go straight back in unless you've been outstanding. So he was like, "Oh, you're gonna have to wait your turn." So, anyways, I was like, "Sweet." It was like opportunities to go to London. London were a good team, full time. They're gonna compete, and I thought, "Oh, may as well. Got now to lose." So I went down there, and I had a great month down there, to be honest. Winning every week. But as soon as I got there, they were playing Cass, and I think I'd signed my terms to go on loan, and I think Lloyd pulled his calf, something like that. So I think Danny Walker ended up playing, and he was behind me at the time. And I was like, "Oh fuck, why me?" Do you know what I mean? Why always me? But no, I didn't take it to heart or anything, because I knew I think I was still only 19, still had a bit of development to do, and it was only going to stand me in good stead going forward, and come back off the back of that 4 week and went straight back into the team. So must have done right, and it was another opportunity for me to learn and experience a different environment and a different place to live.
Right. So if we can sum up your spell at Widnes, mate, how would you call it?
I love Widnes. I love the town, of the club. I had a great time at Widnes. It gave me an opportunity to obviously sign at Hull. Without Widnes, I probably wouldn't be where I am now. There's not a chance I would be anywhere. Without a doubt, I've got a lot of time for people at the club, who I still speak to quite regularly. I've met very good people in there, and I can't speak highly enough of the club and the town and the people of it.
Right. So how did the big move to Hull come about, and who else was having a chat with you at the time?
Hull actually come about a year earlier than I signed.
Okay.
Relegated. There was a bit of sniff that they wanted me, and I spoke to them. We couldn't make it work in terms of I was under the compensation rule, so if I'd have gone there, I would have quite a substantial amount of money to witness for me.
Okay.
And they were trying to move someone on at the time as well to sort of try and make it happen, but it didn't happen. I think that's why I held off re-signing for witness for a little bit in hope that would happen. But then, the year after, when I was fully out of contract and I was that year older, none of it mattered, and they come back in for me, and we got it sorted pretty quickly, to be honest.
Yeah, massive club, mate. A great move for you. So again, it's a new changing room, innit? New characters, a new style of play. How's that?
Oh, it was tricky going in, mate, because I just fractured my eye socket and that at Wembley, so I hadn't done any training in the off season because I couldn't physically do anything.
Yeah.
So I didn't go in on the way I would have wanted to be honest. And it was the first club I'd been to where I didn't know anyone at all either. So it was literally a fresh start for me. I just had a baby. We'd moved up there. It was quite daunting. It was quite scary, to be honest. But it's been great, and I've got absolute no regrets whatsoever about my move up here.
Yeah. Did the lads help you? Did the club help you settle in? And
yeah, the club were great.
Yeah.
Especially welfare manager Feka. He's an absolute champion of a bloke, and to be fair, everyone really helped me settle in and stuff. And the lads have been class from day one I got here, and it didn't take me very long to build some friendships up.
Yeah. So how was a derby at Hull then, mate? Is it
off the scale?
Yeah, massive.
Yeah. It's
said it, like when I spoke to Akko said it's like something you've not seen.
It's mental. Like just running out. I can remember I played I think it was the second game of this season. The first season I come here and we beat Leeds away, and then we went there. And there's 20,000 at home at our ground, fireworks show going off. I was just running out like, what is going on here? It was
grand final, that, isn't it?
It was mental. It was unbelievable. I just wish, because of COVID and stuff, mate, I haven't played at Hull KI yet.
Yeah.
Played one at St Helens, but that wasn't the same. But
yeah.
The build up and that, it's just ridiculous. No one speaks. They were like black and white. Like they don't until after the game, and you just can't. Like they don't live it down. It's their lives. You know what I mean, they live and breathe it. Hull's mad, mate. Like you walk out the house and walk to the shop, you see the rugby top.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just everywhere. You can't escape it.
So what's it like with like Hull City? The footy. Do you reckon you probably take that over, really?
Yeah, rugby's bigger than the football, I reckon. I would say. I think Hull FC get more bigger crowds than Hull City.
Oh, that must make a boss atmosphere then, mate.
Great, yeah. I don't think I've played in front of less than 10,000 at home since I've been here. And then obviously derby's like 20 odd.
Yeah.
And the bigger games are 15ish. It's class, and I try not to take it for granted. You know what I mean? Because it's just like try and live it every time. But it's great, and there's not many clubs that have that luxury of being able to play in front of that many fans every week. Do you know what I mean? So
there's not, mate. So what's your thoughts on a Magic Weekend? Is that something you're enjoying? You look forward to, mate?
Yeah, Magic Weekend's class. It's just different. It's just nice to get out and experience different stadium stuff. I don't think I've actually ever won at a Magic Weekend, to be honest. But it's always a good event. It's always nice to go up to Newcastle. Newcastle Stadium's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Get up there, and Hull always have a massive following, so they're always loud and proud and that. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Magic Weekends, to be honest. I think it's great how all the game just gets together and watches them all. Like,
so how was that phase through lockdown, mate? Is it like literally every day you were getting tested before training, after training, you're playing in empty grounds? Was it mad, that, really?
Yeah, bonkers. I think it ended up, like the back end of it just ended up becoming normal.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it was like, mate, it didn't feel like a game. Like they're on Sky and they've got the fake noise, but like when you're there at the game, it's like dead.
Yeah.
You're playing a training match against someone. Well, that's how I felt anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it one bit. And then that first game where fans were back, everyone was like, what's this?
You want the fake noise?
Oh, yeah, it was. Nah, I didn't enjoy playing in front of no fans, to be honest.
Yeah. It's not what you're in the game for, is it? First is enjoyment, but seconds for them little buzzes, Jordan, isn't it?
All about in it, all the fans being there and stuff and coming out and cheering and that. But no, I wasn't a big fan of playing behind closed doors, and you know, I hope it never has to go back like that.
Touch wood, mate. Yeah, definitely. So, what with Hull spending, because it's evident they spend the budget, don't they? And you've got massive names and that. What expectations do you have? And every year when you're getting tipped by people and that, I know what you're going to say because you don't look into that sort of thing. You do literally go week by week. But how do you feel playing under them expectations? Because no offence at Witness, other than our fans, because we think the world beat us at times, don't we? You don't really have that heavy pressure, do you, as being title contenders or top four, which is probably should be an R, aren't you?
It's easy to say that you don't look into it too much and all this, but you know, there's just social media and all this. There's just that much expectation on them. Like, you're right, but we deserve it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're a big club and spend a lot of money and, you know, put squads together that on paper should be competing with any team in the comp. And, you know, we've not been doing it consistently enough over the past couple of seasons. And who knows what that's down to, because, you know, every day at training you see everyone training and it just wasn't happening for us, was it? Just consistently. You know, I'm hoping this season we've turned a corner. You know, we're starting to hit a bit of form now. We've got a big game against Wigan. I think this is a big one for us this week. Wigan away, to see if we really have turned that corner and we can turn into that ruthless team who's consistently good. You know, because there's no doubt about it that we've got the players to be up there competing for top four, Challenge Cups and Grand Finals. But
definitely,
us as a group, we just sort of taking it week by week and trying not to get too far ahead of ourselves, and, you know, just preparing well and, you know, putting our best foot forward on game day. You know, it's still only early in the season, so yeah, you know, hopefully we can just keep ticking these games on, go on a bit of a run, and, you know, we'll see where we are come September time.
That's it, mate. Winning becomes an habit, doesn't it? And it's a good habit to have. Yeah. So, what are your future ambitions? Because you're achieving, and from the way you've been confident, but you thought, like, probably I'll have an handful of games a year. Someone's got injured, I've kicked on there, where regardless of who's fit, which majority of people are at Hull, you're finding game time all the time, mate, whether it's 9, 13. What were your expectations to play most weeks, and what are your expectations?
I think that first year I signed, I think that was like when I sat down and spoke with my agent and that, we sort of saw that as like in a transition year type of thing. Sort of find your feet. You've signed for obviously a big club, but it turned into like a 15, 17 game season for me, and, you know, I really had to find my feet early. And, you know, probably, I don't know, to be fair, mate, I was pretty happy with my first year, with the way I played and stuff. And, you know, I was really excited going into last year, thinking, I've got an opportunity to kick on here. Hodge had come in, obviously who I knew and I'd had at Witness Academy, so I thought, going to get a real good crack here to kick on. But, you know, last year was a bit disappointing. I probably put a bit of pressure on myself because my role had changed a little bit in the team, and, you know, I was sort of being used as that last half an hour trying to spark something, but it's probably not what sort of player I am. You know, I sort of like playing longer minutes and growing into the game, and you know, getting in that grind with teams, you know, be physical and tough. But yeah, it wasn't working for me last year, and I sort of was then putting more pressure on myself because I knew I was only playing 20 minutes at the end of the game to try and do something, and it just wasn't happening. So, obviously, I tried to put last season aside, and there was a bit of speculation in the off season and that about where I was going to be and what was going on. And I've just sort of used that as fuel. And I started this season I reckon I'm probably playing the best rugby of my career so far. And I've just sort of took that pressure off myself and just gone out and enjoying my rugby again, and just playing a little bit of a different role again, playing through the middle as a 13 and slotting at 9 and half back and that. And I'm enjoying it, mate. I just want to keep kicking on now, really, just keep my head down.
Good man. So you touched on that speculation there. To be honest, I didn't see it, and I wouldn't have backed the move for you because I think you've been a bit hard on yourself there, really. But how do you cope with that sort of thing? Like, can you just brush it off, or does it hit you a little bit?
Nah, it rattles you a bit, mate. Like, because you're on holiday and stuff, and like I was on holiday with my family, and it's just a cloud over your head. Like, you don't know, like what's going. Obviously, I knew I was contracted, so I always had that there.
Yeah.
But then it's like, are you wanted? What's your role going to be? Like, is there any point in staying if I'm not going to play?
Yeah.
But then you're like, it's so late in the year. Everyone else has done their recruitment, so where are you going to go?
Yeah. You've moved up there. You've bought your house. You've got a family.
So this is my thing, and then I just had that mindset where I thought, oh, fuck it, I'll just train hard in the off season, go back in and just give it a crack, and that's what I've done. I think, and it's paid off for me. I'm knocking some decent, consistent performances out and that, and finding my feet again, and I feel like I'm playing well. So long may it continue, and just keep putting my best foot forward every week.
That's it. Everything happens for a reason, mate, doesn't it? So
yeah.
So just before I get on to a few daft questions with you, mate, if you were still at Widnes, what would you be thinking of these Monday night games?
I think it's great for the sport.
Yeah.
I think it's great for the championship as well, for like some of the lads that aren't used to the exposure of playing on telly and that, because I know it is a good thing. But then the other side of it's like the lads who are working and getting off work the next day and all this crap. But I'm a big fan of them, especially watching them. Similar to watching them Monday night as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
I think it's good. I think it's good for the sport and good cover for the championship, because there's some good players in the championship, mate. Like, a lot of players who play Super League have come through the championship system, and then championship teams are flooded with ex-Super League players. So, it's a good competitive league, and there's some money flying about there, isn't there? So there's some good.
There's lads there that simply it just doesn't make sense for them to step up as well, isn't there? It's
That's
not
it.
that they couldn't do it; it just doesn't suit them.
Just doesn't suit them whatsoever.
Fair enough, and it never goes away, does it? But the Cumbria Merger, like, what would your thoughts on that? Because every time someone does well, like Barra played well against Huddersfield, did they? The merger come up. Whitehaven have a good game. Merger comes up. Workington do well. Merger comes.
I don't know if they need a merger or they need a franchise.
Yeah.
That's
a good point, that, actually.
I don't think a merger would work. I just don't think the different sets of fans and towns would buy into it.
Yeah.
Too much history and rivalry there. Whitehaven and Working, it's one of the most, like, talk about the other derbies, like, it's maybe not as high scale in terms of fans, but like the hatred's veiled, do you know what I mean? It's a big derby that I've never ever played in one, but I'd love to.
Got years yet, mate?
Yeah, not yet, but yeah, I just don't think a merger would work, but I believe a franchise could potentially work.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I've never actually thought of that.
Where they just put there and
give them an opportunity to grow in it.
They were given a license and given them a 5-year license or something like that. I believe that would work.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Where like Penrith or somewhere a bit further back, you know, where it's easy accessible from the M6, so you can still get your travellers and that as well. But
you need to be careful, mate. You'll get your job in the Rugby League after playing. Don't be spouting stuff like that. Right, so a couple of daft questions for you first, mate. So, any pre-match superstitions?
Nah, I'm straightforward, mate. Just down the line. I don't believe in all that shite.
Fair enough.
Just take my bag with my boots and me budgie smugglers in. That's me.
Toughest player you played with and against?
Toughest player I've played with. Harrison Hansen, pretty tough, mate. I had some laughs at him. Just his body was absolutely ruined. In the gym, it was an absolute comedy act. You couldn't even stand up. You're doing like lunges and stuff. You had to hold the pole because he was that. But in terms of, H is definitely up there. Hep Cahill was a competitor. He was a tough bloke. Gaz Ellis. Yeah, I'd probably go Gaz. I reckon Gaz. I was lucky enough to play a few games with Gaz, and he was just led by his actions, and one of them blokes. When he spoke, you listened.
Yeah,
he would lead the way.
What about against?
Toughest bloke I've played against. I should have had to think about these, shouldn't I? Before Mickey Mack's tough in the middle. He throws it about, doesn't he?
Definitions of tough are very different as well, JJ, aren't they?
I don't know. It's different, isn't it? Like, you can go physically tough, mentally tough.
Mickey Mack's one that pops up a lot, though.
Yeah, it is tough. I don't usually cop it off him, though. He's more after the bigger boys, eh? He doesn't really pick up. I'd copy Mickey Mack.
Yeah, right. So, favourite away ground?
My favourite away ground to play at is Castleford, the Jungle.
Yeah. Class.
Love playing there. We've just played there, to be honest, and it wasn't a very good afternoon, but just the atmosphere in the crowd, they're just on top of you, like, it's small. It's one of the...
You like the old grounds then, yeah? Yeah.
Evan Boyana, so around and that, I like that, but yeah, the Jungle's class, mate. Just everyone's there around, and especially when all taking big followings like they do, the atmosphere is unbelievable.
Right. So, say you were in Leggies, you've had a few, or Simmies, because you witness a little bit. You've had a few, mate. You're with the lads, the mic's in your hand. What you giving us?
MC Smalley, that's my name. That's my name. I did it on my drink up when I first come to Hull, where you do like your initiation song, and like I was getting into with the lads, I was like, mate, I'm gonna do MC Smalley here now. Like, you're gonna have to do it with me, and we'll get it going. I got up on stage and started singing, and everyone just went quiet. No one started with it and kicked me out. But I've never been so embarrassed in my life, and I'm not one to easily get embarrassed either.
Oh, class, mate. It's what it's about, isn't it? It's what it's about. So I know I've done your heading with this one, mate, but it's your 1 to 13.
Right, this is one thing I have written down, and there's a few tough calls, and I might have upset a few people here, but it is what it is.
Double up, mate. Double up.
So fullback, I've gone Jake Connor, simply because he's unplayable on this day, and I think just some of the form he's showing lately is just ridiculous, and some of the things he's doing with ball in hands, just no one can compete with him. On the right wing, I've gone Corey Thompson. I think just when he come to Widnes and what he done at Widnes in such a poor, I'm not going to say poor team, because that first year he was here, we actually done quite well, but in not one of the top 6 sides, he was a freak, wasn't he? He just tries and that just over 2 years, and he was great. Right centre, this was a toss-up, this one, because I've played with some great centres. Right centre, I'm playing with one at the minute, Carlos. But I've gone with I think I'm going to go with Gels, just edging Bridgie out. I think just because of his, you don't know what he's going to give you.
Yeah.
Or you know, like coming out with yardage in that, Gels is fit and he's strong and his carries in that class, but going into the other half, mate, you just don't know what he's going to do when he's got the ball in his hand, whether he's got to chip over, grub her through, and I feel like a team needs a bit of that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the Maverick.
Close one with Bridgie, because Bridgie one-on-one with defending in front of him was ridiculous. That in and out, with like he was stupid at it. Left centre, Josh Griffin. I think just his ball carries coming out of the backfield and his lines in when you get up the field, he's just an animal, and he's big and strong and hard to handle. And on the other wing, this was a toss-up. It could have been either player, but I've gone with Chris Ninu, just edging Patty Arvan out. Just gone with a bit of nimble and speed on the other wing, and I've just gone for brute strength and power on the other wing.
The big boy, innit?
One-on-one, mate. No one's stopping him either line, are you? Getting bumped off. And to be honest, I'm going to go on a standoff now, and this one was... I picked this player because when I started playing and I think he was just witness his main man, his captain. It was our best player. Everyone looked up to him. In the video room, he was brilliant. He used to basically lead the videos. I've gone with Kev Brown. He was Mr. Witness at the time, wasn't he, when I came through, and it was just unplayable. Just that cut off the winger and his ability to play numbers in front of him and his skill. He was unplayable at times, wasn't he, Kev?
Yeah.
You know, and I've played with some great sixes. Like I was going through them. I played with Albert Kelly, who's playing at NRL now, and obviously Josh Reynolds now, who's won the State of Origin series. But you know, I think just going off form and when I played with them, I think Kev just gets it for me. From half gone Luke Gale, just because I haven't played with Galey that much, but when he come into Hull and just seeing what he's about and his leadership and the way he talks about rugby and the way he talks on the field, he's just a proper scrum half, general, great kicking game and a good bloke as well. So he's in there. Props, I've gone Chris Satter.
Yeah.
He's just a freak at the minute and he's just too big to handle. He's winning every ruck too, and you know the meters. And I've gone with Danny Houghton at hooker because just because of his longevity and you know something that like Mint doesn't get recognised for is how good his skill actually is. I think he just gets known for being a tackler and being tough and competitive, but you know he's like the glue in the middle of that team. And you know he's a captain for years and years, and you know he's a great bloke as well. So he gets a nod just over Lloyd White, I reckon.
Yeah.
I've pushed Hep up to prop to be my other prop. Obviously, another competitor, fit, led by his actions from the front. You know, you always need a grafter in your team. Back rowers, Matty Whitley. I think just the energy he brings and his competitive nature as well. He's not the biggest, but you know, he's always there in defence, and you know, his fitness gets him out of the shit quite a lot of time, and you know, he's a great player. And then on the other end, you've got the Tongan Terminator, Manu Mo. It's a no-brainer. Just the way he carries the ball's just ridiculous. Sometimes in training, I just think, I'm pleased I ain't opposite you this week.
He carries it nasty, like, doesn't he?
Horrible, just so fast. You don't realise how quick he is. He's just... And then locking the scrum. I only played a few games with him, and I'm going to give him captain as well. Gaz Ellis. He's just one of the greats, isn't he?
Yeah.
Ever played a game, so yeah, that's my best 13.